Hello, EKG students. I have gotten a few emails that people are having trouble uploading their videos. So I want to go through this checklist and just outline for you what I'm looking for and also just what I want you to glean from this. So this is a very typical checklist that you will see in Allied Health, and you'll also see something similar in your PSG Technology class. These are just skills that we need to check you off on to make sure you're proficient with the class. So I explained this in detail to my hybrid students, but my online students may not have seen this, and I want to make sure everyone has the same information. So this is the checklist, and I did not alter this. This is standard that comes with a basic EKG class, and I just wanted to keep it standard so everyone has the same information. But it is pretty typical in Allied Health, like if you're getting a phlebotomy certification or anything else. What they mean under identify patient is when you walk in the patient's room, you ask the patient, please give me your first and last name and date of birth. You don't say, hey, are you Mrs. Williams? Because if you get a patient who either has dementia or is having trouble like remembering things, they may just say yes, and you'll be on your way to giving some type of service to someone who does not need it, which can get you in a lot of trouble. So what you do is you walk into the room, identify the patient by asking them their first and last name and asking their date of birth. You then can pantomime looking at their bracelet. It's their hospital bracelet, which I'm sure everyone has seen one of those before. And then also by looking on your orders, which can either be a sheet of paper or, just an imaginary order, because it's really important to identify the patient ×3. That's what it's called. So sometimes a patient will go in and maybe like a duplicate bracelet was printed, or you'll go into a room where somebody else was previously and now there's a new patient in there. So if the orders, the bracelet, and what the patient says, all three don't match, at that point you stop and you let the person in charge, like the charge nurse, know, because you can't do a procedure on someone if you cannot identify them ×3. Introduce yourself and let them know what you're here to do. Ask the patient if they have had an EKG before. If they say no, you can explain the procedure. And if they say yes, you can say, well, as you know, this is not an extremely intrusive procedure. It's just going to be cold with the rubbing alcohol, and the electrodes may be not exactly warm either. So from there, everyone will have the same basic information. So after you do those things, you can cut off your video. So you're not just sitting there eating up storage and space. And then what I want to see at the end is a snapshot of how you set up your EKG, just to make sure that you're doing it the right way. If you've done it once already, you'll realize at this point you pretty much have the gist with the electrodes. But I do want to make sure all of you understand when you look at the patient, you're seeing a mirror image. So you have to make sure you hook up the patient's left-hand side and not look to your left and mirror them, because we had some people the first time they put the electrodes on the wrong side of the patient, which did not include their heart, and that wouldn't be a very effective EKG. So those are the main points that I want to get across. And also just let you know, this is what is called a 12-lead EKG. You will probably see them in your sleep lab, but at your sleep lab, you will likely only have 3 electrodes that get put on the shoulders and 1 on the hip, or you'll have 2 that get put like right around the clavicle, or you might get 1 put on front and put on back, and they do a beautiful EKG that you'll see in your montage. So I just wanted to explain this a little bit more, tell you guys you can condense the video if it won't upload or you're having issues. If you have any other questions, just shoot me an email. It was good to give you guys some information today.